Welcome to Ed Fluential Sports, where passion meets precision. As I'm your host, Ed, dive deep into the plays, players, and stories shaping the game. And we 2 days late for this video, but not really late, really a day late because I was gonna get thought about getting the recap out tomorrow. But I was like, I'll just wait till today to get it out, just a day later after the game is concluded. But 2 days if you want to say it, but usually my recaps are the next day when I recap full games. So getting it out a day later than I usually would. I don't know. Just something just flashed. I don't know if y'all saw it. But anyways, let's get into the national championship game. Men's national basketball championship between one seeded Michigan, two seeded UConn, two of the top teams in college basketball this year. This was a fun game. This was exciting to watch. Enjoyed it from start to finish. The game started, had solo ball, hit a pull up mid range. UConn had two turnovers within their first four possessions. Yaxel Lindenberg, obviously, he didn't do much due to this injury in the last game. So he was able to play. I was questioning and wondering if he would be able to play after his injury. Luckily, he was able to, even though he wasn't as effective as he could be. But trying to play through the injury, because I don't think he was fully healed. And obviously, he came back in the last game, didn't play much in that previous game. But he tried to come back in this game. He played a little bit. He played 36 minutes, so he did play a lot. But he only had 13 shot attempts, which was the most on the team. But I feel like he could have had more, and he didn't shoot well. He only shot 4-13 from the field, 0-5 from three. But I felt like he actually could have been more impactful if he wasn't hurt. And obviously but it didn't matter in the end. But Michigan, they started 0-5 from three, missed their first 5 threes, didn't shoot well from three throughout the night. And you had multiple ties and lead changes throughout the first half. Michigan led 33-29 at halftime. Then up to this point, UConn they're going into the second half. UConn was already at 5 turnovers, which is more than what they had in their previous game with just 4. So obviously facing a housing national championship, that's likely to happen. Both teams trying their hardest, doing whatever they can to win this game. Michigan was still struggling from three. They was 0-9 at this point. And both teams had 3 turnovers within the first couple of minutes going into not first couple of minutes, but first few minutes, like first 5, I'd say, within the first half. Both teams committed turnovers, so a lot going wrong for both sides, not being able to make anything. But then once shots finally started going in, Michigan's lead grew to 9 points. That was their biggest lead of the game up to that point. I don't think it got any higher than 9. It might have got to 11 at one point, but 9 was the highest at that point in the game. Then UConn, they were able to stay in the game by winning the offensive rebound battle. At that point, they had more offensive rebounds, which is one of the keys. I don't think I talked about the keys to this game since the Final Four and national championship all happened within the same few-day stretch. So I didn't get to talk about the keys to success for both teams, but they were UConn. They were able to stay in with their offensive rebounding. You had a big 3 by Elliot Cadeau late in the game. You had Terrence Reed. He had a post shot he was able to make Michigan, and it was late in it's like the 4 or 5 minute mark of the second half. They had 2 blocks in the same possession, so that was great. They had a lob to Dave Amara, which that ended up leading to UConn. I don't know why it's Arizona. To UConn calling the timeout. Then Yaxel he had made a layup, and Michigan's lead grew even bigger. McKinney, the game was pretty much sealed once McKinney hit the step back 3 late in that game for Michigan. Michigan ended up winning 69-63. So it was a competitive game, was close. I just think it was a few keys that came down to this game. And honestly, it wasn't even a playmaking thing because when you look at both teams, they both only had 16 combined assists. I think Michigan had 2 more. Michigan had 2 less. UConn had 9 assists to Michigan's 7. So it was 16 combined assists within this game. So not a lot of playmaking going on. But in Michigan, despite them struggling, because they didn't shoot well from 3. They only made 2 of their 15 threes. They shot 25 or 28 from the free throw line. So they got hella free throws. They shot 89%, which is really great. And they only committed 13 team fouls. So nobody was really in foul trouble aside from Johnson. But Cadeau, Yaxel, even though they both had 3, they still played heavy minutes. Johnson still played heavy minutes despite his 4 fouls. So only 13 team fouls is really great. Then for UConn, you had Solo Ball. He shot 3 of 7 from three, but he wasn't as impactful as he was in the last game, where it felt because his last, like statistically, it felt similar, but in that last game, he felt more impactful when watching. And UConn only shot 31% from the field. Michigan, they shot 38%, which isn't amazing, but it's still better than 31%. So shooting 7% better, it's definitely going to help you get the win in the most important game of the season. And then for UConn, Terrence Reed Jr., 13 points, 14 rebounds, 1 steal, 4-12 from the field, 0-1 from three, 5-6 from the free throw line. He had a double-double, but he simply has to shoot better from the field. As a big man, you can't be going 4-12 from the field. It's hard to win games like that, and you shouldn't win a game shooting that bad, because that's 25%. So he simply, what's that? No, that's not 25. That's 33%. But I was thinking 3 of 12. He was 4 of 12, but that's 33%. You simply have to shoot better, especially as the best player. And then Alex Caravan, he had 17 points, 11 rebounds, 2 assists. He had a double-double himself, 5 of 14 from the field, 3 of 10 from three, 4 of 6 from the free throw line. Gotta make one more free throw. You don't gotta go perfect, but you gotta go 5 or 6 from the line. You gotta make at least one more three, maybe two more. Obviously, they lost by 6, so everything doesn't come down to what Caravan does. But if he can shoot 4 of 10 from three and shoot 40%, that's going to be significant, because that could give them more momentum throughout the game. So you can't shoot 30% from three in the most important game of the season. So they did play well. I am highlighting them as the players of the game for UConn, but it was still mistakes and still things that they needed to do and that they should have been able to do to win this game. For Michigan, Morris Johnson, 12 points, 10 rebounds, double-double, with 1 steal and 2 blocks, while going 5 of 7 from the field and 2 of 2 from the free throw line. Had a great game. Got a double-double, played good defense. Nothing more to say about him. He was a foul trouble, like I said, but it didn't end up mattering, as they were able to win the game. And then Elliot Cadeau, he had a solid game. That step back three that he hit was his first three-point make of the game, as he shot 1 of 4 from three. But he did go 5 of 11 from the field, 8 of 9 from the line, had 19 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, and 2 steals. So he played a really good overall game. He shot well from the field, didn't shoot well from three, but he was able to get to the line and made the most of his opportunities at the free throw line, going 8 of 9. So Michigan, they did their thing. Elliot Cadeau led them to victory. I'll give him player of the game overall. But this was a good national championship game, much better and much more competitive than the women's game, which was a huge disappointment and something that I still can't get over, because that's back-to-back years that South Carolina got blown out by 20+ in the national championship. But anyways, great game. Like I said, it was enjoyable. It was some great defense being played. Terrence Reed, I wish he would have did more. 13 points, 4 of 12, just simply wasn't enough. Jackson Lindenberg, like I said, he gets a pass. He was playing with an injury. He still had the most shot attempts on the team. He played through the injury, played 36 minutes, so he still played a heavy amount of minutes and did what he could to lead his team to victory. He only had 1 block in this game, but he played well. Michigan, they won the national championship this season. They finished the season 37-3, as UConn finishes 34-6. UConn, they fought. They did their thing. They did what they could, but it just wasn't enough. In the end, you won't win shooting 31% from the field. So yeah, make sure. Like I said, I got uploads every day this week, whether it be through videos, shorts, live streams, basketball, maybe a few football short coming soon, wrestling, baseball, bowling, volleyball, WNBA, etc. But more videos to come throughout the week, more shorts, more lives, more posts. But with that being said, make sure you leave a like on this video, subscribe to the channel, share for others to see, and comment your thoughts below on this game or this video. So, yeah.